What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about the Silent Hill 2 remake because it sounds like the first reviews for the game are beginning to leak, even though it doesn't come out for another 7 days. So I wanted to take a look at what this game does good or bad, but also kind of just the conversation around Silent Hill 2 because it feels, well, really toxic in a way that I was not expecting at all. Let's get into it. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, I am actually wearing my official Silent Hill 2 t-shirt to be an extra big nerd. I very much love the original Silent Hill. I mean, both the first game, the second game. I feel like the entire series of Silent Hill, it's a very strange thing because the games are objectively good. At least some of them are. The part of this that I feel like becomes so contentious is that Silent Hill starts perfect. I mean, the first couple entries we got, I don't think there's a way to deny the fact that they're some of the best survival horror and psychological horror experiences that have ever been made. But after a couple of them, you could see the quality very quickly decrease. I like Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't really hate Homecoming or Origins, but suddenly the games became incredibly bad. And so with this remake, some people seem to be a bit pissed about it. Some people actually seem to be annoyed that Konami is trying to remake debatably the best game of all time. It feels a bit lazy to some people, but what's been happening is apparently they have accidentally shipped out a ton of copies of the game early. Now, I think this is kind of cool because the box art looks fantastic. There was a hole here. That's such perfect disc design. But the side effect of so many people getting the game very, very early is now it sounds like a huge chunk of YouTubers are managing to get this without an embargo, meaning that typically when you review a game, the company talks to you and they go, okay, we'll send you the game super early, but you gotta pretty please not show spoilers, don't show more than like 20 minutes of boss fights. They usually have like some specific stipulations, but also it basically makes it so that everybody has a time where they're allowed to post their video, right? A review embargo. You get a game 2 weeks early, you're allowed to talk about it about 2 days before the game comes out, that kind of thing. But in this case, because people are just getting it, there isn't an embargo. People are posting several hour-long YouTube Let's Plays of the game itself. But I must admit, I have looked at some of this stuff because I'm just so curious. I want to play this so bad. But some subscribers sent me this post from Gaming Leaks and Rumors. Now, this is actually 2 separate people now that have the game themselves. They have beat it. They're playing it. One of the reviews is a guy who's played about 5 hours, and the other guy has kind of a less impressed impression of it. But I want to take a look at both these reviews here just because, honestly, I'm so curious about it. But here we go. So, first one here. I like this bullet point format of it. So there was a post about a day ago on here someone who had the game early and people never got to hear what they thought of it. So here's 2 people who have the game early. First up is Saucemagic. Now, real quick, I do want to mention, it sounds like this is all PlayStation 5 copies that have leaked, obviously. It does sound like, I have talked to some people, it sounds like some reviewers are playing it on PC and also playing it on PS5. A lot of the games media, games journos and stuff, they definitely do have a copy of the game, but here it is. James really feels nice to control. People were complaining about the jank not being present, but it does well. You kind of have to worry about committing to your swings when using the board. This probably isn't the case on lower difficulties, but I've been punished for trying to slam jam these things. Okay, this is one of the major critiques that people had about later Silent Hills, especially stuff like Homecoming, is that the point of old survival horror, even old Resident Evil and stuff like that, I will always stand by the fact that the bad controls are part of the design. That part of making it terrifying so every single monster is so scary is the fact that you're not a combat veteran, you know? Like, this dude, James Sunderland, is not, Leon Kennedy. He's not going to be action roll blasting, throwing grapple hooks like he is in RE4. So the fact that he is kind of clunky, that's a good thing from a design standpoint, at least in my opinion. But there we go. The game is freaking terrifying. Post Brookhaven. Swear to God, I heard Pyramid Head's knife dragging in the darkness somewhere, but I feel like it was just me listening because I didn't see him. Oh, that's so good. Anybody who's played Resident Evil 3, I always liked in the original version of Resident Evil 3, Nemesis will randomly bust out of windows and stuff like that. But sometimes you'll just hear a crash in the police department, but you don't see him. So you know that Nemesis is somewhere messing stuff up, but he's not messing with you. Only bug I found was a nurse stuck inside a wall that ate my lunch in like 2 hits trying to free her. Didn't occur again. Okay, that's not too bad. Puzzles are pretty clean. I have them set a little lower because I hate being stuck in a place for too long, and Silent Hill's abstract puzzles that I seemed unable to fully think outside the box, still rewarding, inventive, and fresh. Oh my God, I totally forgot about this, but some games have been doing this lately, and I did hear they decided to set this up for Silent Hill 2. So there's a combat difficulty and there's a puzzle difficulty that are separate, so that if you're trying to play through the game and you're an idiot. No, I'm not. I'm joking. But if you're sort of not used to it, he is correct. Their puzzles are extremely abstract. If anybody's ever played Silent Hill 1, especially, if you're mixing chemicals to melt a hand. The most famously difficult Silent Hill puzzle of all time is the puzzle where you're trying to play piano, and it's a poem. The black bird flies the furthest, So it sounds interesting that they managed to make each of the different levels of puzzles differently done. I'm glad that, but it sounds like it's a good mix. Bosses are phenomenal. This dude is not Leon Kennedy, and it shows, but I'll point several similarities to RE4 Remake. My honest take, I need to finish it, but I'm going to play this like 15 times. Angela is growing on me. Eddie is a disaster, but in a good way. Disturbing. I like the OG Laura way better. Man, the fact that he's giving opinions on each of the characters, this is the kind of post I personally wanted to see more than anything else, which is a person that understands the original, that understands the characters, that understands the changes. This is a great post. Saucemagic, definitely serving up the sauce here at 8 a.m. on a Tuesday. Here we go. Angela is growing on me. Eddie is a disaster in a good way. Disturbing. I like OG Laura way better. This is much, oh my gosh. That's a very harsh critique. I like the OG Laura. This one is much less genuine. Huh. They took out her being upset when James calls her a brat, and I despise that. If you're on a lower difficulty, you're going to be stocked to the brim with ammo. I consider myself good at shooting, but I still get in situations where it's like, okay, I need to find some bullets. Man, this critique of Laura is actually very damning. In case you don't know, a big part of Silent Hill 2 is James Sunderland is going to Silent Hill to look for his dead wife, Mary. And he finds somebody that looks very similar to her, but she's kind of dressed all skanked up. And your interactions with Laura, this possible evil doppelganger of your wife, it's the big mystery of the game itself. And it's really good in the original. It's really creepy. It's unnerving because her behavior isn't right. Like, she is definitely not behaving in a way that really makes sense. So the fact that they're saying that she seems less genuine, oh man, I want to see that for myself for sure. Now, here's the other one I want to look at. This is interesting. Thoughts from a newcomer, whereas this person is a experienced aficionado. Seems like a person that not only understands horror games, as they have lots of Resident Evil references, but sounds like a person that understands the original. But let's take a look at this. I received Silent Hill 2 Remake early, and I've been playing it, and I love it. Never played the original, nor have I played any Silent Hill game whatsoever, so I can't exactly say how it compares. The graphics look incredible. The atmosphere and horror is so good. The locations are fantastic and really fun to explore. Combat feels great. The acting is good, too. Okay, that's a hell of a run-on sentence, but man, you can feel his excitement through it. I have seen a lot of people talking about, especially in the newer trailers, the early reveals for it, I know a lot of people were critiquing how the characters looked, how the environments sort of presented themselves, and I agree with that criticism. That I liked how Silent Hill 2 Remake looked immediately. I thought it looked so good right out of the gate, but the changes we've seen, the updates, especially to the facial animations and lighting and stuff like that in the newer trailer and now in the launch gameplay we've been seeing, it definitely looks way, way better than it did years ago when they first revealed it. So the fact that it looks like this stuff is so good, especially the fog, I can't even imagine what it's like for a first-time Silent Hill player going into that fog for the first time, but man, that's so cool. The mocap is pretty insane to me, honestly. They've captured so many micro expressions from James's actor, and some shots in-game had me fooled like they were real footage. That is rad. Oh my god. I'm grinning like an idiot because this sounds really freaking cool. Although I haven't played the original, I am somewhat familiar with it, and I've picked up on quite a few Easter eggs, which made me quite happy. I'm playing on normal difficulty and riddle difficulty, and I feel like both it's been a perfect balance. Not too difficult and not too easy. I only have a couple of complaints with the game, but there's quite a lot of visual glitches, specifically around enemies and windows. The game sometimes doesn't let you activate a certain prompt unless you walk away until it disappears and then walk back to it. I've gotten stuck on dead bodies, but was able to get out by stomping on them until I can move. Ugh, man, that sounds like a lot of glitches. I mean, he's trying to definitely make it sound not as bad, but oh man, I don't sound good. Obviously, I've played a lot of games before release. Obviously, I like reviewing games, and a lot of times when you are reviewing a game, occasionally they'll send you a list that says known issues, which is about bugs that are currently patched with a day one patch. You just don't have the day one patch yet. So hopefully this is stuff that gets fixed with a day one patch, but I guess we're all going to see here in just a couple days. It's wild this is coming out 7 days from now is when it comes out. I am going to be reviewing this, by the way. I'm going to be reviewing Silent Hill 2 Remake, so be sure to subscribe because as a super fan with merch, I'm going to review the heck out of it. As for where I am in the game, I just got to the 3rd floor of the hospital. I can't wait to play more. For those wondering about the settings, there's tons of UI and gameplay things you can fine-tune to your liking. You could probably spend like an hour doing it if you're particular. In my opinion, this game so far really has no big problems, and it's pretty perfect to be honest. I can tell the devs put a lot of care into it and paid serious attention to detail. Now let's take a guess. You think the comment section is going to be happy or sad? It does seem like this is getting pretty dang upvoted, but let's see what people have to say. This dude is not Leon Kennedy. A disappointment to know that apparently not everyone is Leon Kennedy. I had never played Silent Hill 2, so I'm really excited to play this. This is perhaps the take that is the most interesting to me, is that there is a lot of people that are PlayStation 5 owners who didn't play the original. I mean, it's crazy. It's been decades since the original came out because in my mind, it feels like I just beat it for the first time. But growing up with Silent Hill, it was crazy spooky. It was extremely hard because I was a kid at the time. So seeing people interact with this universe for the first time, it's still really cool to me. There is footage on YouTube. I saw a reference to the original Maria's outfit. She even playfully asks James whether he likes it better, but James seems indifferent about it. Oh no. Okay, I can't. I'm not going to look at it anymore. And I can't click these because then this video will probably get taken down. So if you're looking at like leaked text, you don't get in trouble. But if you show leaked gameplay, that's when companies get a bit spicy. But how do you feel about Silent Hill 2 Remake? Are you excited about it? Please tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. Personally, my hype just went from an 11 to a 12. And all the controversy around it, that there are so many people that seem to be talking about boycotting the game, and I think their reasons make sense to me. I have seen a contingent of people that are saying no more remakes, and I actually think that's a totally fair critique. I mean, personally, I'm very excited about this, but I'm not going to be one of those fans that says, I like it, so you got to like it. So we'll see how it actually shakes out. But to the people that say the game looks bad or that they're not interested in it, I just want to say, you guys live your best life for sure. I'm definitely going to play the hell out of this game and platinum it. Oh yeah, keep dreaming. thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.